So hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Stranger Things is less than a week away. We're getting season 5 in just a couple of days and it has felt like a lifetime because it kinda has been. I thought it would be fun to do a catch-up recap video of everything that we've seen so far, all of the major plot points, to try and catch us up in time, because I've gone back and I've rewatched like key episodes from the past few seasons and there's so much that I forgot even happened. I mean, to be fair, so much time has passed that like cast members are now married with kids. Do you know what I mean? So I thought we'd go through it together, and I've made notes. Will we stay on point with the notes? Probably not. Before we get started, I just want to apologise and recant everything that I have ever said about winter, because I do not agree anymore. I used to be a winter girly. I loved it. I lived for it. Guess what? We went down to -3 in Ireland last night. I was not living or loving any of it. I feel constantly sick. I have to wear a hat non-stop because my skull is frozen to the bone. Doesn't help that I have a mohawk, shaved sides. Look at that. Look at that. I can feel the chill touching my brain. I have to wear hats and hoodies and so many layers that I feel like a mummy swaddled. Sometimes that's nice, but I'm not digging this. I miss the summer. I never thought I'd say it. Oh my god, I never thought I'd say it. It feels dirty coming out of my mouth, but I miss the summer. We didn't even get a fall in Ireland, by the way. We didn't even get one. We had like a week where we got a glimpse of some leaves that were threatening to fall, and then it was like, boom, the trees are naked, the leaves are gone, you are fighting for your life in the frost. I hate it. And also, before anyone says, that's not even cold, we get down to whatever degree here where I am in America, I will find you and I will poke you into the eye sockets. If you've never been to Ireland in the winter, you've never felt an Irish winter. Alright? There is so much goddamn moisture in the air. It is so cold and foggy and frosty. You feel like you're drowning just trying to go for a walk. Season 1, we are introduced to Mike, Will, Dustin, Lucas and 11. We're a group of kids, right? We love playing D&D. We're just kids having a kid old time, living life. Minus 11, of course, because we haven't met her yet. So Will Byers ends up going missing and everyone's like, where did he go? Shout out to his mother, by the way, because Joyce is that bitch. I love her. That woman is a saint and she just never gives up. We meet Hopper as well, the police guy. Kind of cold, disconnected from the world. He's got his own trauma. Yeah, and he hasn't become the dad of the group yet, so he's still a bit offbeat and kind of on the outskirts. So that's the younger group. Mike, Will, Dustin, Lucas and 11. And the slightly older group with Will's mom, Joyce and Hopper, right? But then you kind of have the in-between age group. You have Nancy, Steve and Jonathan. Jonathan is such a weird character. I forgot where he began in this show. He was just that weird guy that hung out in the bushes taking photos of Nancy. That completely slipped my mind. Thank God character development is a thing. But that's okay because they end up dating later on anyway. Not that it's okay actually, because it's not. Steve is also like a bit of an ass this season. I feel like the story writers didn't really know where we were going to bring him or what we were going to do with him. He's just an oddball and a bit of a dick early on.
Here you go, man.
So like I mentioned earlier, 11, right? She is this odd, off-putting, powerfully smart little genius of a child with psychokinetic powers. She's always running around doing some stuff, bleeding from the nose, and she is kind of the whole crux of this entire story. But this season is nuts, right? You have demogorgons running around the place, there's egos, cars are flipping over. Poor Joyce is running around the place frantic. She's looking like me, 6 hours into detangling the family Christmas lights. That is the most stressful day of the year, we all know it. Christmas decorating is fun, but I am the bitch that's handed everybody's lights for every tree in the house. We learn about the upside down and how messed up that whole situation is. Barb dies. Justice for Barb. She's just sitting there by the pool. And then death. So we have that whole epic showdown at the end in the school. You have the goodbye Mike scene, but everything kind of works out. We get Will back. It's alright, all is well, but except it isn't, because he's coughing up slugs inside the bathroom. And the upside down is still there. It's still a threat. We're still being haunted and kind of hunted. Season 2, we're starting to lean into a slightly newer aesthetic. Aesthetics with the show is something that I love so much, because you have the very, very late 70s aesthetic trail into the early 80s, because the show is set in the early 80s, right? Season 1. So you start to see the early 80s aesthetic in season 1, but it kind of develops as the show goes on. Visually it gets a little bit brighter. Like in this season, the arcade is a super big vibe, and there's just something so 80s about that. Anyway, poor Will is being haunted by the upside down. He is just seeing stuff walking around in the distance. He's having fun with his friends and all of a sudden hallucinations, but they're not really because they're real. He's seeing stuff out in the distance. But this season we have the introduction of Max, who is probably one of my favourite characters. But with her comes along her shithead brother Billy, which, by the way, can I just say, the storyline with Billy and the whole mother romance thing between him And, oh God, what's her name? You know her. Her. That was just traumatizing. We also get the introduction of my guy, Samwise Gamgee, Bob. Poor Bob doesn't last long though. He comes in and he's just so pure and lovely and bubbly, and then death to him. Can Joyce just have a happy 5 seconds at any point in her life? We also get the introduction of Murray. Bringing it back though to 11, right? Because Hopper has been keeping 11 safe. He has been keeping her safe, taking on that father role, learning how to be a girl dad, because it's not easy. And 11, she kind of struggles with that as well, because she's like, why are we here? Like, let me do something, let me go somewhere. And Hopper's like, nah. And I understand. I would have moved her somewhere so far, far, far away that the Upside Down would not even be able to find it on a map. Ireland, probably, because we are so irrelevant in any storyline, ever. You know, all the stuff always happens in America, and most Americans can't even point out Ireland on a map, so that's where he should have brought her. Out in a cabin. Out somewhere in fucking Connemara or some shit. But it's this season that she joins up with that group of emos, right? We all, like, I think that slipped everybody's mind. We learn that she has, like, a partial sister. She meets somebody else with psychokinetic powers and abilities. And is it like an episode or two we have with them? I felt like they were going to be such a bigger role. And then they just weren't. But this is the season that we also get that iconic Halloween episode, the Ghostbusters scene where they're all dressed up. I really loved some of the visuals this season. I feel like there was some really gorgeous moments, and the costuming knocked it out the park with season 2. So we kind of ended that iconic all as well, but it's not, which Stranger Things has become so accustomed to doing at the end of seasons. They're like, everything's good, but there's another season, so you know it's not good. I really, really liked the dance at the end of it. I thought that, again, the visuals and the music and the costuming, everything about that was just gorgeous. We also start to see the first drips of them maturing and growing up, because they were kids in season 1, and I feel like in 2 we're starting to teeter into the teen years. We see Lucas and Max share a kiss on the dance floor, and it's kind of the first sign that, like, we're growing up now. And it was alluding to the fact that the next season we're gonna, you know, there's gonna be dating, there's gonna be coupling up together. And that becomes a massive theme throughout season 3. Season 3 is a total vibe change. Super colourful. Full 80s. We have the mall as our main setting. It's the main setting for a lot of the storyline, and at the end as well, it's where the showdown happens. I will not tolerate any season 3 slander. I know people did not like season 3. Season 3 is probably my absolute favourite. Steve really blossoms fully into the character that we know and adore this season. We also get the introduction of Robin, who I love Robin and will protect Robin with my goddamn life. We're all kind of back together, but like I said earlier about Lucas and Max being kind of like the nod to the fact that season 3 was going to be about like us growing up and exploring and getting together. 11 and Mike are now dating.
I'd dump your ass.
Dustin has a girl.
Where have you been?
I'm so sorry. I've been really busy.
Lucas and Max are obviously together. Nancy and Jonathan are together. You get oh my god, you get the 3-inch rule with Hopper. Hopper's fighting for his life trying to be a girl dad this season. Trying to like navigate the fact that like, right, 11 now, you know, she's growing up. We have to try and give her a little bit of room. And then all of a sudden there's a boy around. There's a boy around and the door is closed. I cannot imagine a bigger fear. I really like Nancy and Jonathan though. I feel like their relationship and their storyline together has been one of the more interesting ones. Now I know in real life the two of them are dating and they have been pretty much since the jump, and I just think that is so incredibly sweet, and every time I see a picture of them together, my soul smiles. We also meet Alexei, the Russian scientist, because that's like the whole plot of this season, that we're trying to open the doors to the Upside Down. We're working on keys. Alexei is this little, I don't know, he reminded me of Bob in a way. He's a little ray of sunshine. You can't help but love him. So naturally, they kill him. The show just decides, do you like him? Tough. We get the introduction of Erica, who is an absolute little kick ass, and I hope we get so much more of her in next season, in season 5, because she probably would have grown up since then, because there's like a year time jump, right, between 4 and 5. I feel like we need to make her part of the main group. We did see her a good bit in season 3 and a good bit in season 4. She needs to be like main character energy in season 5.
Isn't it past your bedtime?
Isn't it time you die?
Erica was pivotal to the storyline in season 3, into figuring things out and getting shit done. Anyway, yeah, you have the showdown at the mall at the end of season 3, where the beginning of traumatic shit just starts to ruminate again. They also kill off Billy, which that did hurt a bit. It did hurt, and especially seeing Max as well and knowing the impact that's going to have on Max. I just loved the showdown in the mall. I don't know why, it's one of my favourite showdowns. Maybe I just love malls. It's my inner consumerism. Yeah, but this is probably one of my favourite seasons. I loved everything about it. There was a lot of awkwardness going on this season because obviously they're teens that are working on figuring themselves out and stuff like that. I really, really liked it, and I loved the setting. I loved the music. I loved the vibe and the pacing of this. Probably more so than 1 and 2. Then we get on to season 4, the most recent season, arguably the most iconic. This season kicked ass up and down the road, right, left, and centre. If you had an ass, it was being kicked. We get the introduction of Eddie fucking Munson, who is a precious little guy, and I just love him. And I don't care. The fandom decided they loved him, and then they decided it was cringe to love him. And guess what? I never entered that phase. I still love him. I think he's great. We get the introduction of Eddie. We get the Chrissy wake up scene.
I don't like this, Chrissy, wake up!
You get running up that hill, probably the best scene in Stranger Things history. I cried like a bitch. Vecna becomes a really big prominent character this season. I know, listen, I'm so complicated in my head, in my thoughts about this, because Vecna, looks like a more burnt up, charred version of Davy Jones. I can't help but still kind of be attracted to him. I know it's Jamie Campbell-Bower under there. I know what that little angel looks like in real life. And I'm looking at Vecna and I'm like, it's a Pennywise-ification of the villain. I look at Pennywise and guess what? I have thoughts because I know Bill Skarsgård is underneath all that fucking makeup. Underneath the clownery is Bill Skarsgård. But I think the Vecna storyline was done really well, and I really liked it as well because, the whole Rainbow Room storyline and the Henry Creel storyline and dipping into his backstory as well as Levin's and stuff. I really liked how that was done. I really liked how it was shown to us. But there's something about season 4 that just the horror to me was just better. The darker, more kind of messed up, traumatic, heart-pounding moments. It was crazy. The effects this season were wild. The tension building this season was wild. It probably was the darkest so far of the series, of the run. But the evil is still not defeated, even though we thought we defeated him, even though we did everything that we possibly could to Vecna. That showdown scene was monumental, and yet still that fucker is coming for us, because we end the season knowing, oh, guess what? This is not good. The upside down is starting to merge. Somehow the doors have returned. It's just such an ominous ending. It's such a depressing setup to season 5, because this shit is going to be so dark, which I do love. But this season had some serious heavy hitters as well. The Master of Puppets scene, I loved it. The scene where Eddie was up on top of the thing playing the guitar, I was like, he's got style. You gotta give it to him. But him dying, one, is sad because I loved the character, but outside of that, it's heartbreaking for Dustin, who looked on him as like an older brother figure. That is just going to mess him up so horribly. I mean, it's going to hurt the whole group, but Dustin was closest to him, I think, and liked him the most. Especially with the way that Eddie died and the misrepresentation around the death and what people think of him outside of that. It's just, one thing I really, really like, and we started to see it a lot this season, we saw it last season as well, a bit with Max, is that we're seeing that the kids, yes, they're growing up, but they're also being forced to mature faster than they should be. The trauma and the fear and the loss and the grief and the adult weight of you have to save the world on kids' shoulders is forcing them to mature faster and to have less time to enjoy those little moments, which is why when you do see moments of friendship or love or happiness or anything positive, it's so much sweeter, because it was really prominent this season that childhood is well and truly dead with them. Dead! Unlike Max, who we really did thought that we lost her. She's in a coma. I reckon she's going to be fine in season 5. I reckon that coma saved her life. Because if they were going to kill off Max, I really think they would have just done it. I don't think they would have put her in a coma and then killed her off at a later date, because it takes away from the impact. Anyway, the death of childhood. These characters, they're still fucking kids, and we're being forced to let go of that whimsy and that childish, bubbly vibe that only kids can have, because we saw it as well, wasn't it, Will, in an earlier season? Was it season 3? When they all started, they started dating each other and the friends started getting a bit too busy to hang around with each other.
Meanwhile, Elle has a book of letters from you.
That's because she's my girlfriend, Will.
And us?
We're friends.
Wasn't it Mike was like, what, you wanted to stay in the basement to play D&D forever? And you see Will be like, well, yes.
I mean, what did you think, really? That we're just gonna sit in my basement all day and play games for the rest of our lives? Yeah.
That Will wasn't quite there yet. Will didn't want to let go of the simplicity of the very raw beginning of season 1. And it's like, well, yeah, you guys have been dealing with so much shit. You didn't get time to just bask in those golden years before you start to grow up and mature. Death of childhood is a huge theme throughout the show, and I love how it's handled. I love how the characters point it out and make reference to it as well. Anyway, so we end this season 4, with the most ominous shit that you've ever seen in your life. Papa is dead. Hopper is back. Our group is together. Max in a coma. Season 5, let's look ahead to season 5, right? How long have I been recording for? Too long. Season 5, I really don't think that Max is going to die. We are going to get major character deaths, I think. I don't know how ballsy they're going to go with it, but I hope they go balls to the wall, because predictability is something that you can't really avoid. But you can if you're just brave enough. I don't think Max is going to be the one to be killed off, because we got a sort of death for her already. She was in the coma. We saw the characters go through it, especially Lucas. Oh my god. We saw them go absolutely through it with the idea of losing her for her dying. I still think that running up the hill scene is the most powerful scene that we have ever had from any modern show. It crushed me, and to this day I cannot listen to Kate Bush without getting goosebumps on my soul.
I'm still here. I'm still here.
One thing I would love to find out this season is why Will. Okay, Will, you poor little fucker. Why Will from the jump? Will has been tortured and mind twisted. Why him? I get it, he's our main character and it's main character energy, but I would like to know why he was chosen to begin with. We know that Vecna has him, right? We know that Vecna is planning a big old evil master plan with Will. But like, why? From the very jump, from the beginning. And one thing that I saw floating around online that caught my attention and was interesting, there's a theory running around that this is all part of a D&D campaign or part of a book that Will wrote. And I'm like, if you end on that and you tell me that these last 10 years of my life of loving the show has been nothing but imagination, I'm going to crash out. I know, it's all imagination and it's all make-believe, but I would like it to be real to the characters at least. I just can't believe the show's finally coming to an end. Listen, this show took the world by goddamn storm, season after season, and it's one of the few shows that I can think of that when it comes back on air, people just drop whatever they are doing to tune in. I really love the vibe that it brings. I love everything about it. Like, the themes that the show's worked with, the power of friendship. Like I said, the death of childhood, found family, grief. It deals with racism. It deals with abuse and trauma. But it intertwines them all so well into the story. I actually don't even think I have a favourite character. Like, I love Lucas, but I also love Max. I also really loved Eddie. I loved Joyce. I loved Hopper. I love all the characters for different little reasons of their own. They're all so independent of each other, even though they're great together as a group, as separate characters on their own. They're also really, really great. Yeah, I've really liked this show. I've really loved my time with it, and I don't want it to end. I think that the way they're dropping it's kind of odd, and I would love to talk about that for a bit, because you've the 4 episodes coming out next week, right, which is fine. I can't wait to get stuck into them. I love the longer runtime. I love the concept of bulk dropping, but not really. You're not dropping the whole season, you're only dropping parts of it. But they're dropping the next few parts on Christmas Day. I just think it's odd to drop it Christmas Day, especially when there's so many Christmas specials going on. Maybe if it was a one standalone episode, the way they're doing with the finale, I think dropping that by itself is genius. And New Year's Day is a pretty good day to drop it on, I think. But bulk dropping a load of episodes on Christmas, I don't know, is that going to help or hinder the ratings? Because there's so many Christmas traditions that people have. There's so many movies or shows or specials that people watch yearly on Christmas. I'm like, will people take time away from that to binge Stranger Things? I don't know. Now, maybe Netflix are hoping it's just for that week in general. Do you know what I mean? That awkward in-between time. It feels like the upside down in a way, actually. The week between Christmas and New Year's. That in-between week is just time isn't real. You eat chocolate for dinner. You kind of sleep all day and stay awake all night. There's alcohol involved. It's a really weird time. I love it. But it's an odd time. Maybe they're hoping people will just binge it over that week. But I think it's an interesting rollout to do for a last season. I don't even like saying that it's the last season. I have really, really lovely memories with this show. I think it's done really well. It's done really well at keeping up the momentum, at keeping up the drama, at giving us scenes that are probably the most iconic randomly in the middle of season 4. Do you know what I'm saying? Season 4 into a show, you get one of the best scenes running up that hill. I'm super excited about this season. Did I give my predictions? I said I don't think Max will die. I would like to, and I think we will find out why Will. I think we'll also get familiar faces back somehow. I think we're going to somehow see Bob. Maybe Barb. Eddie, I reckon. I don't think Eddie's going to come back. I think he's well and truly gone, but I reckon we're going to see him somehow. Probably all through flashback scenes or through some dramatic scene of like someone's about to die and all of like the faces of like people we've lost flashes through their mind. You know what I mean? Like that. We're probably going to get flashbacks and visuals of characters that we've loved. I think Max is also going to deal with Billy's death. We saw it when she had those like traumatic flashes that made her the target for Vecna. So during the flashes where she was seeing like Billy breaking down doors and stuff, the trauma of losing her brother is what kind of made Vecna pounce on her to begin with, in terms of trauma and in terms of I'm going to fuck you up this season. I hope we get like one last hurrah in terms of the group and childhood. Do you know what I mean? I'd love to see us sit down and play a game of D&D, or I'd love to see us dress up for Halloween or do something like that again before the end, before we all go our separate ways and grow up for good. But yeah, lads, those are my thoughts. That was just a general rundown of some kind of bigger plot points, some moments to just refresh your mind, I guess, as to where we all stand and where we are moving into season 5. I just really wanted to do a recap. Obviously, there's things I forgot to touch on, characters I probably forgot to bring up a bit. But I think those are... Oh yeah, I didn't bring up Murray. I forgot Murray. He comes into it around season 2 or 3, I think. I liked Murray. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the show, where we stand right now, kind of what I hope to see from season 5. I'm really interested to see what music we're going to get in this, because we're probably going to get a very popular song that's going to become absolutely synonymous with the show, kind of like Running Up That Hill did, or like, what was the season 3 one? There was one in season 3 as well. Oh, I can't remember. Me saying it's iconic and they do it a lot and I can't even remember more than one example. Lads, I'm a fool. But I'm really excited for things like soundtrack, because I love the soundtrack to the show. I'm super excited for costuming, because the costuming in this just knocks it out the park. Like I said, from the Ghostbusters outfits to the dance formal outfits, even down to like Eleven's kind of 80s crazy pattern shirt that we get in season 3. Even the Scoops Ahoy Scoops Ahoy t-shirt. I love that outfit. I absolutely loved it. I have a Scoops Ahoy replica t-shirt, and would you believe me if I told you I thought that was the epitome of coolness and fashion, and I wore that around the streets of LA when I went on holiday. I'm an embarrassment. I love Robin. I hope we get more of Robin as well. Robin just punched holes through my heart, and just, oh my god, her and Steve. Robin and Steve, and the love and the bond and the friendship that they share is just... So yeah, lads, those are my thoughts. Some theories. I don't think I gave any theories, actually. So those are just my thoughts. I hope you like listening to me ramble for 34 and a half minutes. We're going to have to cut this down significantly. Let me know what you think about season 5, what you hope to see. Keep it spoiler free. Let me know what you think, your thoughts. What's been your highlight moment so far from the show? I think one of mine was probably the scene in the bathroom with Robin and Steve, where she comes out to him. Either that, or... I know it's so basic to say, I don't care, they're running up that hill. That song mixed with Max running for her life and all of us looking at her in the graveyard and she fucking levitating off the floor. Cinematic. If you enjoyed watching along, make sure that you click subscribe, because surprisingly over half of my viewers are not subscribed. I understand. I'm subscribed to like not half of the amount of people that I should be. It helps out the channel an awful lot, and I'd really appreciate it if you did. We're going to be doing reactions for season 5 here on YouTube, and I'm going to be doing the extended reactions over on Patreon. The link to that's in the description down below. I do a bunch of Patreon exclusive content, so the extended versions of any reaction that goes on YouTube goes up over there. But we're also doing Patreon exclusive stuff. So I have ongoing reactions to shows like Angel, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We're doing Has-Been Hotel season 2. We're doing film reactions, Vampire Diaries, Supernatural. We're finishing up Derry Girls and Only Murders in the Building. There's film reactions. We're doing a lot of movie reactions for Christmas over there as well. So the link to that's in the description down below. My Twitter and Instagram also linked down below. I'm also the drummer in a band called Itarian, and we put out a new single called Cassette a few weeks ago. So if you'd like to check us out, we're also linked down below. Yeah, that's it, lads. I can't wait to start doing reactions for season 5. I'm so excited. I can't wait to just bask and sharing it with you guys. There's something so lovely about uploading a video and everyone in the comments is just so excited about whatever we've seen or wanting to discuss whatever happened in the episode. So yeah, for now that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I want to say a huge thank you as well to the cast and crew of the show, because they've worked their balls off to make this happen and to pull it together. And I know, even though I joke, and I joke so often about how long it took in between seasons, because it did, but I'm sure it'll be worth it, and it'll be visually beautiful and emotionally disturbing, and we're not going to feel alright after it, I think. But yeah, a lot of people come together to make a show like this happen and to make it into what it is. So just wanted to say I respect the hell out of especially the art department on this show. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you all soon.